The holidays are rapidly approaching us, beginning with Thanksgiving and moving on to Christmas and Hanukkah and New Year's and Kwanzaa and the winter solstice and whatever you choose to celebrate. And I want to work with a teaching that I received from my teacher, and I want to use it as a spiritual premise. And what I mean by that is just something that you consider. I'm not saying this is the truth. It happens to be my truth and what I've found to be true. But I want to work with it a little bit like, if this were true, what might it mean? And that truth is, that teaching is who we spend the holidays with are the people that are most important to us. And the teaching kind of extends, is it sends a signal to the people we celebrate the holidays with and the people we don't celebrate the holidays with, about the importance. Now people could say, well, you spend the holidays with family, and but is that not a reflection, perhaps, that family, as you're saying, family is the most important to me? And then to complicate things even more, some of us may have a biological family, and then some of us have created more of a spiritual family or a social family that may be very important to us. And so, but do we leave them and go to our biological family at the holidays? And what does that say? So it's a way of aligning our life with what's most important to us. The idea is, if we're in alignment with our life, we spend time, and this isn't just for the holidays. The holidays are just to, bring this thing to a focus. Do we align our life and spend time with quality time? Vacations is another one, right? Free time, how we spend our free time, how we spend our vacations, how we spend our holidays. Are we spending that with the people that matter most to us? Or are we possibly spending that with people that we feel obligated to spend it with? And maybe those, there's certainly overlap there, perhaps. But when we get into obligation, often there's a real fine line between being obligated and then getting into caretaking or codependency. And what I mean by that is, well, if I don't spend it with my so-and-so family member, it would be heartbreaking for her. And we want to be sensitive to that. I'm not saying, but we also have to be true to ourselves and to the people that are most important to us. So this doesn't have to be an either or. Now, if there's travel involved, maybe it is a little bit of an either or. But if there's not, we can just maybe refocus things a little bit. No, I'm really asking is that you consider who is most important to me and who matters most, and then how can I spend time with them at the holidays? And so maybe you can spend time with biological family, and then you also spend time with your spiritual family or with your dear friends, and then that type of thing. So that is the practice, and maybe it's, maybe holiday plans are already made, but I tried to do this early enough so you still could. Maybe it's too late for Thanksgiving. I don't know. But, and you still can change things a little bit, like Christmas and, Hanukkah, New Year's, there's a period of time usually. I'll go with Christmas. There's Christmas Eve, there's Christmas Day, there's Christmas morning, there's Christmas afternoon and Christmas dinner. There's these different times. And so if they all live in the same area, maybe, what I like to do is spend Christmas Eve with my significant other and have it be kind of romantic. And, Christmas dinner might be for more family. And then maybe we visit friends on Christmas morning, or, but it just is, as we make choices, and and this, I just used Christmas as an example. As we make choices for the holidays, maybe we could just consider and reconsider perhaps, like, who is most important to me and how can I spend time with them this holiday? Maybe you spend Christmas, maybe you spend Thanksgiving with your family and Christmas with friends. That's another thing that, or Christmas, Hanukkah, I'm just using holidays. Maybe Thanksgiving's one and another holiday is another, it's just, but to keep it aligned with what matters, because it really does, whether we realize it or not, it sends a signal to the people that we're with and the people we're not with, and it matters, because it really does. The other thing that's somewhat related to this is what we do with these people that we're with. Are we doing things, this is where more about being true to ourselves and honoring ourselves and having ourselves being one of the most important people that we're considering at the holidays. It's like there's the people in our life, and then it's like, how can I consider myself and make myself an important person to myself at the holidays? And that gets into, again, who you spend it with is a reflection of that, of course, because it's like you spending with people you really love and enjoy being with. You're honoring yourself more. If you spend it with people that you're obligated to, or not, don't enjoy being with as much, you're maybe not being true to yourself as much. And then what we do, okay, maybe there's traditions and maybe you enjoy the traditions, or maybe you're tired of the traditions. Maybe you want to create some new traditions. And so what we do in the holiday is really important. And again, you can flex this, you can, what I call, add yourself into the mix. So maybe you have a lot of obligated time at the holidays, but maybe you take part of it, like the example I gave earlier. For me, that's Christmas Eve. And, I'm going to be with, I'm going to do the thing I want to do most on the holidays on that day. And so it's like, so you can take part of the holiday and do what you want to do, and perhaps do that with the person and people that you want to do that with. And then maybe you still can show up for other people too. But maybe not. Maybe there's distance involved, and maybe you have to make a choice. Maybe you have been making a choice. Maybe it's time to consider making a different choice. And then realize that when you start taking care of yourself and honoring yourself and honoring the people that are most important to you, it may have an effect. If you have been doing some caretaking, some codependent things of being, taking care of other people, not to hurt their feelings, and et cetera, when you shift this and start honoring yourself and the people that are most important to you more, it may hurt the feelings of the people that you're moving time away from. And then we're breaking contracts. I've talked about that. We're breaking, emotional contracts. And when we do that, they often feel betrayed and we often feel guilty. And sometimes when they feel betrayed, they can let us know how painful it was to them and kind of add to our guilt some. And that may be part of it, but that may be, in my mind, that may be a price to pay, because there's usually an adjustment, and that's when that's the highest, the first couple of times we do it, and then it becomes, but it gets into like, who are we living our life for? Are we there, are we living our life for other people, or are we living our life for ourselves and for the people that matter most? So those are some things to consider as we move into this holiday season, and that is my video blog for this week. So I hope you have an amazing week. And as we approach the holidays, maybe just reevaluate, who are the people that are most important to you, and what do you want to do for the holidays, and how can you bring yourself in to the holidays and honor what you want to do and who you want to be with. And I will see you in a week.